Okay, so hello everyone. So glad that you guys could join us on this Friday after like the first week of classes. So my name's Jess. I'm one of the co-presidents, and that is Swati.
Hi, I'm Swati. I'm the other co-president.
And yeah, so we've been, working through all these tough and unusual times, ready to bring you yet another semester of fabulous Columbia Space Initiative goodness. I don't know what I was going to say there. But yeah, so we'll go over today some of the missions, how meetings are going to be working for the upcoming semester, what like various things we have planned and talks and whatnot. So let's just jump right into it. Yes, we make this joke every single year. It's been really good. So yeah, CSI, we are the more known CSI. But okay, so here's a little video.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's our little introductory video. We continue. Okay, yeah, so we're a pretty large crowd. We go places, we do stuff, we hang out, we take pictures in front of the alma mater. Back in the day when we could go outside and join in large groups, this might be anxiety inducing. We would go see all of the latest space movies as a group, take group pictures. We have two advisors, three advisors. One of them is Professor John Kamissis. Professor Mike Massimino is our advisor for the longest time. He is a former astronaut, and he teaches classes here at Columbia in the Mechanical Engineering Department. Very cool, very great. We have a new advisor this semester. His name is Professor Dana Levin. He's in the med school, but he has done a lot of work with NASA and also is heavily involved in space medicine. So he's an advisor for a couple of the more space bio missions that are currently happening. He's a really cool dude and has a very good picture. Yeah, so we're a student-run space community. We take on interesting technical projects and promote space interest within and outside of Columbia. So we have missions that run within the community. There's not much overhead. And we also do a lot of outreach programs with schools nearby, with the Intrepid, and generally have a lot of stuff going on. What stuff, you might ask? For example, this space selfie. This happened a couple years back, right before I was around, but yeah, so very cool thing. MicroG has gotten to test their various tools for astronauts, which Swati could tell you more about. But if you like, but basically
they get to go to it when we get to the MicroG slide, but it's a super fun opportunity.
Yeah, and then get on page of NASA, very cool. We have astronauts visit for talks because Prof. Mike knows a few people and they like to discuss all of their various exploits. another astronaut, Suni Williams, and another astronaut, and he played around with fruits, I guess. And yeah, so those are those. But Swati, would you like to explain?
What is a mission? Okay, so we call the projects that we run missions because we're a space organization and we love cute things like that. Also, our secretary, Bruno, who's in this call, we call him our Capcom. We like to name things cute little space-themed things. So our projects are missions. And a mission can be either a technical project or, as you'll see later in this presentation, we have a number of non-technical missions. And these are run by one or several mission directors, mission leads. Again, lots of them in the call that are going to present on their mission very shortly. And every mission is different, but in general, they last either 1 year or a couple of years. And a lot of our competition teams will run their mission like year after year to submit something new with each season. And the key thing to stress here is that anyone can propose a mission if there's enough interest. So I want to say that out of the maybe 10 or so missions that we have running currently, 4 or 5 of them have been proposed in the last couple of years. So really, these are like just cool ideas that people come up with. Find a couple of friends who are interested in doing the mission with you, and it's literally that simple. So without further ado, let's hear about our current missions.
Okay, so the current missions, this is just a running list, and you'll hear from all of them. Right now, we have Cubesat, balloons, MicroG Next, robotics, outreach and operations, which we would call that more of a non-technical mission, Rascal, rockets, SPOS, suits, and space medicine. And a lot of these are, as Swati mentioned, some of these were created over the summer. Some of them have been long running since the start of the club. But yeah, so here goes. Cubesat.
Okay, so I'm one of the 2 Cubesat mission leads, the other being Logan Tater. So
hi there.
What we're working on is pretty much developing a proof of concept wildfire detection system, which, as you can see, wildfires are getting worse and worse in this world, which is not good at all. So what we're trying to do is build a Cubesat between 1 to 3 U's approximately that contains a proof of concept, low cost, miniature, and low power wildfire detection system, where if we can launch one of them, it shows that if you were to launch many of them, you could develop a worldwide detection system that's quick, since you have many of the different Cubesats going across different parts of the world in different orbits. So that's what we're trying to show. So in the past, so far, we've worked with Professor Shiminovich, who we work inside the lab of, along with Professor Kamisis and also NASA guests. And in the past, we have been working with George Washington University for this goal, but unfortunately, the progress with them has been very slow and often full of delays. So we are planning on going independent from them and starting to build our own Cubesat without any partnership with another university. So this semester, we're going to be focusing on writing a proposal for the Cubesat launch initiative to get a approved launch spot, and also working on doing further research on the camera system for the wildfire detection to determine what exactly we should buy that meets our specific requirements. So if you are interested in joining, we are glad to have anybody from any discipline. Primarily what we do is computer science and electrical engineering with some mechanical engineering. However, anyone with a passion for space is more than welcome to join. And this year is going to be especially good since you're going to be in it from the refresh of the Cubesat mission. So you'll get to see the entire process from writing a proposal, which we're going to be submitting this semester, to building the individual subsystems, to hopefully the launch within the next couple of years. And we do have a testing Cubesat that allows for development and allows you to get your hands on with an actual functional Cubesat. So if you're interested, please let me know. Come to our Q&A later. All right, appreciate it. And on the next slide, you can kind of see some pictures of how exactly big Cubesats are. So could you go to the next slide?
Yes, sure.
forgot there was a second slide. So this just shows like a 1U Cubesat here compared to like different sizes. So this is the range of what we're looking at. 1U being the smallest option, 3U being the largest option that we're feasibly looking at. So yeah, that's Cubesat in a nutshell.
Cool. Next, balloons. We have balloons represented.
So my name is Ranak. I'm in charge of balloons. So basically what we do is we launch a high altitude balloon every year. Last year we wanted to launch in early April, but obviously with coronavirus that got delayed to this year. So right now we're looking into doing something else possibly for the year, maybe an aeronautics white paper or a CS focused balloons related project. Not sure about that yet, but also we're planning on launching our balloon sometime, hopefully next semester. We don't really know yet, depends on, again, state of physical activities at Columbia. But we'd be happy to have you join. We're still working on like final assembly stuff. So if you're interested in balloons or aeronautics, feel free to join.
MicroG.
I'm Javier, one of the two co-leads for MicroG, along with Elizabeth, if you want to wave.
Hi.
So basically every year, NASA releases some design challenges, and our task is to choose one of those, design, prototype, and then produce one of those devices, which normally, if not for the pandemic, we would fly over to Houston and test our device in a pool. Well, divers test our device to simulate the MicroG, like low gravity environment. It's a really fun mission, and we welcome all people to join. Everybody can contribute in some way, and we have a lot of fun with it. And it's also honestly just such a good way to meet really cool, talented people. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I joined a little bit late. I didn't join till I think November, and I was really nervous that it was going to be kind of intense, but it's honestly a really awesome collaborative environment, and we're just working together. So if you're into design and machining and engineering, anything like that, this would be perfect for you.
Awesome. Here's some pictures.
Lots of pictures.
If you'd like to explain, but yeah.
I can explain a little bit about the pictures. So I've been part of the MicroG Next team for the past 2 years. I highly recommend it. It's a really awesome mission. And so these photos are from test week last year. Like Javier and Elizabeth said, because of this COVID happening this year, we're doing remote testing, which has been its own whirlwind of adventures. But yeah, so this is us kind of in the bottom left corner, standing in front of the huge pool. We get to do like a dive side briefing to the diver, and then we get to sit in mission control and literally tell them how to use our device. And last year, we even got our poster and our paper accepted at a couple of conferences, so you can see a picture of some of our old team members on the right side bottom at one of these conferences. So it's a really good time, a lot of cool experiences that you get to do with MicroG Next.
Awesome. Robotics challenge.
Okay, so Natalie is not here. She's one of the mission leads, but I know that there's been a lot of interest in some kind of a robotics style mission. So the updates for this are that this particular project that they've been working on is actually wrapping up next week. I think September 15th is their final project deadline, but they're looking to create a new robotics mission because so many people are interested, perhaps collaborating with the robotics club or some other kind of space robotics style mission. So yeah, I guess keep your eyes and ears open for updates on that. They're working really hard to get something up and running for the next year because so many of you all have shown interest in that. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Rascal.
Alrighty, hey y'all, I'm Mary Claire. I'm one of the co-leads of Rascal, and I'm co-leads along with Hugo.
Hi, I made it. Sorry, I was in another meeting for an ambassador program for NASA, so but I made it.
We're excited that Hugo made it. So what is Rascal? We are a NASA-sponsored systems analysis and design competition. Essentially, we write white papers, which are mission proposals based on select themes provided by the program. So we write proposals such as like missions to Venus, missions to Ceres, and last year, for example, we designed a mission proposal for a crewed mission to Mars. And then Hugo.
Oh, so yeah, last year we did that. It's a lot of fun, guys. We have Oreos. We had Oreos every time, so if you want to come, like, we won't have Oreos for you this time, but you can buy them. So for this competition this year, we want to expand it a little bit, and we are looking for people who are willing to learn CAD modeling, some structural analysis, but especially CAD modeling. If you have CAD modeling experience, please, we like really need people who can do that, so we can like go on to the next competition, next phase of the competition. But everybody's welcome. We want to make it very inclusive, make it fun, and it's mostly going to be online. Even when we're back on campus, it's just going to be writing a cool report. And if we do go on to the next round, we get to go to the Space Center in Florida to present to a live panel. So like, please consider joining.
And I think the next slide has a few pictures. I believe our team in the past 5 years has gone down 3 times. And this year it's kind of unknown whether that's going to happen or not because of COVID. But if it does happen, we go to Cape Canaveral. It's really fun. Travel stipends are provided. If that doesn't happen, we're just going to be doing it on Zoom like they did this year. But yeah.
Rockets.
Hi, can you guys hear me? All right, thanks. Yeah, so I'm Danny. I'm the mission lead for the Rapture program. And essentially what we do is we do the complete design, build, and launch process for a rocket that's usually about like 14 feet tall, and try to launch it to about 10,000 feet in altitude. That whole design also includes building our own hybrid rocket engine pretty much from scratch for the rocket. And so obviously there's a lot of design, computational modeling, and analytical modeling and fabrication that goes into that. And we end up going to a competition at the Spaceport America in New Mexico in June. And usually there's around 100 to 120 different colleges competing at that Spaceport America, but usually we're only one of like 10 or so teams that does like a completely student designed engine for their rocket. This past summer, the competition actually got canceled due to COVID. So we are kind of finishing up our design phase now and moving into fabrication and a lot of analysis and new projects for this year. And so we're gonna have a lot of workshops and trainings in the fall on computational fluid dynamics, finite element analysis, and other really important things, computer-aided design, stuff like that related to design for aerospace engineering, and especially Rapture. And obviously, yeah, we're interested in any major, including non-technical. We've had great people from biology, chemistry, all of that have helped out a lot.
Suits. Oh, there's a video.
Oh, sorry, that's us. Okay, so we're Suits. We're the CS mission, and we're mainly focused on augmented reality and virtual reality development. And we participate in a challenge called the NASA Suits Challenge, put on by NASA, specifically Johnson Space Center. where we build an AR user interface for the new spacesuit. And this year's challenge definitely implements more like GPS aspects, I would say, like location tracking. Yeah, I don't know. Something I don't know.
Oh, yes. Sarah, introduce yourself to the good people.
Oh, yeah, I probably should have done that. Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm Sophia. We are the Suits co-leads, and this is the second year that we're doing Suits. So Suits stands for Spacesuit User Interface Technology Systems. I don't actually know what else stands for. Probably systems, who knows. But yeah, so basically so the new spacesuits, as Sarah said, are going to have glass that we can use to project augmented reality into the astronaut's environment. But this is very new to NASA. So as an institution, they're working on new ways to actually do this in a way that helps the astronaut versus harms their ability to work. So we're designing systems that do this in an interesting way. So you can see some examples on the screen. The second picture shows how we projected the image of the rover into
we implemented object recognition into our user interface so that the user could identify a rover and then project task instructions onto the rover to help them through it. And we usually use Unity, but if you don't have experience in that, that's okay. It works with like C#. So like if you are interested in the mission, it would be cool if you could like brush up on C a little bit or like start learning it, but it's totally okay if you don't know it right now. Yeah, and we'd love to have you.
Yeah, so just from like a pragmatic perspective, so for instance, like the second picture shows how you would project instructions onto the rover for like how to change a tire. That's what the task we had last year. But there are other tasks such as displaying biometrics, which are more sort of data science focused. There's stuff like Sarah mentioned with navigation. And yeah, like I think I see in the chat something about navigating on the moon. It's a really interesting challenge from that perspective. So if you're a CS major, even if you're not super into design, there's definitely stuff for you to do. And if you are really design focused, it's also a great, yeah. But yeah, so there's lots of different stuff within CS, and also like if you're just generally into design, we would love to have you.
Yeah, like there's a couple of people on our team who didn't really have a lot of coding experience, but we're really into like music Blender, which is great for us as well. Yeah. Oh, also we work with Steve Finer's lab, probably.
Yeah, that's the Columbia Graphics and User Interfaces lab.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get into that realm of research, it's also a really good opportunity to do that, and
just see if you like it at least.
So come to a breakout room.
Cool. SPOS. It's our newest mission, I believe.
Hey, I'm Cal, and Swati and I are the co-leads for SPOS. And so as Jess mentioned, SPOS is the CSI's newest mission. We just started over the summer, and it's a NASA competition that revolves around designing an experiment to be launched to the ISS for 30 days. And so this year's challenge involves designing an experiment around bacterial resistance. So we've been hard at work designing an experiment as well as the payload to transport that experiment. And the way that we're organized is we have a team that works on experimental design, and so more like bio, and actually designing the premise of the experiment, and another sub-team that works on payload design, so more mechie and EE. If any of that interests you in the least, definitely join. You don't need to have any experience. And yeah, Swati, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so our mission is meeting at a little bit of a different time than most of the other missions meet. So the way that we kind of have our meeting structured is that we meet on Saturdays instead of the usual Friday 4 to 6. And 11 a.m. Eastern, that's our payload design meeting. So that would be our mechanical, electrical engineers talking about those sorts of things. And then 5 p.m. Eastern, that's our experimental design team. So talking with our biologists and our biomedical engineers. And yeah, so like Cal was saying, you don't have to be experienced in any of those fields in order to join the mission. A lot of us have learned most of what we know about all of this stuff along the way. And probably the best way for you to get more information, we'll hang around after to answer questions, but is also to join the NASA SPOS channel on Slack, where we announce our meeting links and things like that.
And one last thing to note, the deadline that we're kind of working towards is October 20th, so it is coming up soon, but we are welcoming anyone who is interested to join.
Cool. ZeroG Space Medicine. This is also a mission, by the way, that has been founded since COVID happened. So yeah,
right.
Very new.
Let me hit the intro, right? Hold on, I'm gonna disappear. How's it going, everyone? Well, as you can see, this is the slide for ZeroG Space Medicine. So we were born out of a previous mission that sent a payload to suborbital flight aboard a Blue Origin rocket. We were previously studying retinal glial cells, which are cells in the eye. And we were trying to see if RNA transcription changes during microgravity that could cause astronaut blindness. Now, with that in mind, we decided to set our goals a little bit loftier than that. We're aiming to go to the ISS. It would be a 30 to 50 day study, and we aim to send up tau and amyloid proteins, which are the contributing proteins to cognitive disorders, most notably Alzheimer's, and if you're a football fan, CTE. We recently just had a meeting with a bio professor who is studying proteins, and he gave us great feedback about the mission. So over the next semester, our plan is to finalize the mission design, and then by the spring we start experimenting on the mission. Now, when I say finalize the mission design, we're trying to figure out exactly what proteins we're going to be using, exactly how we're going to mix the proteins, and exactly what changes we're going to implement up on the ISS. Now, some of the challenges with a mission like this are, first of all, the bio experiment side. So we need to have people who know what's going on with the bio cells, or in this case, proteins. But there's also a payload design aspect. Since it's something that's going to the ISS, weight is a factor, but so is size. So if you remember from the Cubesat mission, they were talking about 1U, 1.5U, things of that nature. So our payload is going to be about 1.5 to 2 U's. It's 10 by 10 by 20 centimeters. So we do have size constraints in that aspect, which adds like an additional challenge because it's not the perfect lab environment. So it's pretty cool to design something like that and improvise different methodologies. In addition to that, while it's on the ISS, we don't have astronaut interaction with it. So everything that goes on with the experiment needs to be automated. The reason that this is significant is because currently most, if not all of the experiments on the ISS have astronaut interaction. So if we can prove that we can do experiments aboard the ISS completely without human interaction, that changes the game for ISS payloads. And it definitely opens up a world of research to undergraduates, graduate students, even professors who don't have all the funding. Now that I mentioned funding, that's a perfect segue into one of the other teams that we're looking at. So this isn't a competition. This isn't anything but a bunch of undergraduates coming together to make a mission and make something super, super cool happen. One of the things that it takes is money, and we pay a lot in tuition, but unfortunately I'm not Mr. Moneybags over here. So we have to put together a full-on finance team to try to recruit some different companies to give us a little bit of money. So we're going to be putting together a bunch of these different aspects to come in and make this massive, lovely family type team. Now, the good thing about having like this diverse range of backgrounds is no matter what you're interested in, no matter what your major is, there's a place for you in this mission somewhere. Now, what's that place? Not quite sure yet. Hit me up for some more information if you want to know more, if you want to talk to me more about the project. You might see this little fancy QR code going on here. I'm not sure if it's cut off or not by the bottom of Zoom. If it isn't on your screen though, you could scan that little QR code for the info session link, and there is a questionnaire form. So if you want to fill out that questionnaire form, pretty much it teaches me a little bit about you, and then you'll be added to the email roster, and we can send you more information about the mission as it happens. We can send you reminders for the information sessions coming up next week and things of that nature. So yeah, Ad Astra, and let's shoot for the stars, everyone.
Solid. Outreach and operations.
Sorry. Hi, guys. So I'm the outreach director for this year. So for outreach, what we've done in the past is we hosted space events for the public, like extreme engineering. We also go to the Intrepid Museum. once a semester to present and do little space-related workshops for kids. We have also taught classes with CU Educational Outreach. It used to be called CU Splash. And there we would, some of us would go to some middle schools in the Harlem area and present little workshops again for space-related activities. And then we would actually invite like 50 plus kids to have a day here at the Columbia's campus. But unfortunately, we can't do that with COVID-19, but we are planning to hold a lot of virtual events. There is a CU Splash event happening in October, where on Sundays we're going to be giving lectures to students about different missions in CSI. So if you are going to be joining MicroG, SPOS, and Suits, you can be involved in that, maybe help out when we give a lecture to the students. And we're gonna hopefully be having other volunteer virtual events with Sophie Gerson Healthy Youth. That's the main foundation that we work with, where we have a lot of the kids come to campus. And in about 3 weeks, we're gonna have our first kickoff event. It's gonna be a presentation that's gonna be co-presented with me and another CSI member, Jennifer, since we are NASA Lucy ambassadors, and we're gonna present information to hopefully middle schoolers and high schoolers and their teachers about the NASA Lucy mission that's gonna be launching next October. Not this October, but the October of next year. And we might have cameos by Professor Mike and other space celebrities. So like, if you want to get involved, just let me know.
Sick. Okay. More outreach stuff. Yeah. If you want to talk about it.
It's because this is operations. Because it's cut. Because you're right here.
here. All right, if not, then I can explain a little bit about our operations. So outreach and operations, we kind of group together, obviously not a technical mission, but still super important to everything that we do as an organization, and yeah, our relationships with the public. So operations focuses on planning lots of different events. So in addition to some of the outreach events that we host, we also like to host things like lectures, astronaut talks, workshops, panels. We like to invite basically industry experts in the aerospace field to come and talk to us about what they do and ways that we can get involved as undergraduate and graduate students. And another part of the operations team's main goals is kind of developing relations with the aerospace industry. So we have a lot of companies here in the New York City area with whom we have great working relationships with. So companies like Space Angels and Final Frontier Design. And in addition to some of the larger non-New York space organizations like SpaceX, Boeing, Blue Origin, etc. And another important part of this is fundraising. So the ZeroG mission kind of touched on this, but obviously for all of these missions, we're always looking for ways that we can finance our projects. We're very lucky to have a very supportive home department, the Department of Mechanical Engineering, that supports us on a lot of what we do, but we're always looking to expand our connections with the industry, and that includes corporate sponsorships. And I think the next slide will talk about the new sort of finance funding mission. Yeah, so this is run by our operations director, and basically the goal for this is to kind of establish more formal relationships with third-party sponsors. So we have a sponsorship packet, and the goal is for us to kind of update that and to have stronger ties with these companies and these industry connections, so that we can try and have them basically be a part of the projects that we do, whether financially supporting us or maybe providing us with different kinds of materials for the things that we're building, or just kind of being a resource for our students who are interested in joining the space industry and maybe connecting with these companies.
just a little bit about, I don't know if we have any of our senior mentors on the call currently, but we do have a lot of opportunities for like internships and senior mentorships within the club. A lot of seniors are always willing to tell you about internships they've done in the past and help you understand more so what opportunities there are in the space industry, whether you're a mechanical engineer or CS focused or more in any like non-STEM area. So like we have like mentors who will tell you these things, and we also have we've had interns work at Lockheed Martin, Boeing, or Final Frontier Design, which is more New York centered, or Leo Labs. There's been research done at NASA and JPL and Space for Humanity. So all across the board, we've had a lot of people go into space in various interesting places. We do host an internship panel in the fall where people who have done internships can talk about their experiences. This will most likely happen in October or late September, and we'll keep you guys posted on what's going on there. In terms of people who will be talking, Prof. Mike will be coming to one of these Friday meetings, I believe, September 24th, perhaps, September 23rd or something. Or 25th, whichever one's the Friday. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff planned there. And in general, like if you ever have any questions about like the job search or anything of that sort, on our Slack, we do have a channel that is dedicated to career opportunities. And on there, you can usually find stuff posted by alums or current members with respect to open jobs, open internships, or anything of that sort. So we do have quite a network within CSI, out of CSI, and alums like to stay involved and are always willing to help. Yeah. Oh, and we got a lot of awards and honors. These keep growing, we hope. So we've gotten the Organization of the Year, awarded by Housing, I believe. We've got many other awards other than that, academically, within Columbia, within our challenges. So yeah, very cool stuff. In terms of bonding, we do have bonding events coming up, and we've always had bonding events. In the past, we've had See You in Space. We've done space art where we just like painted. We've had our podcast run by our current publicity director, Henry, which you can find, I believe, still on Spotify. We've had a hackathon called the Spaceathon. And off campus, we've gone to museums, we've watched some movies, and we've gone to conferences. The thing is, currently, you know, we can't really do too much of these team bonding things because these are all in person. So for this semester, we're going to be trying to have more like game nights. We're going to still be trying to watch some movies. And in general, we hope to still try to keep this up. Also new this year, which a lot of you have joined, is our Discord. And if you haven't joined our Discord, we'll mention that a bit later. But that's where we're going to try to have some more, ouch, we had a podcast. Well, you can continue the podcast. I mean, more episodes, the better. But yeah, so our Discord is going to be our current focus for, you know, talking, chatting. You have any questions? Have any question about missions? Any question about Columbia? Just want to chat? Want to share pictures of your cat? As Chris has been so dutifully doing. You know, come by.
Hello, he's a little furball. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's super great.
One note on the Discord, if you joined, it would be really cool to just like introduce yourself, just like a couple lines, your name, if you know what you're going to study or what mission you're interested in, just so that we can start to get to know everyone, because usually we'd be able to interact in person, and so we're trying to sort of bridge that gap as best we can when we're in this online medium. So that'd be really wonderful if you all could introduce yourselves on Discord.
Yeah, the one thing that's really like suffering, and I know it's probably similar in classes that everybody's in, is we're missing the idle chatter that usually comes with like an in-person kind of meeting. So we're hoping to kind of mitigate that by having a Discord channel for more social things, and still have our Slack as our main source of like general important CSI related info and mission related info. So yeah. Okay, These are our team bonding events of the past, but these are our team bonding events of the present. In the bottom left, I believe SpaceX's commercial mission to the ISS was a thing that we live streamed, and we had a bunch of alums come by. Or this could have also been our alumni chat. I think this was I think this technically was our alumni chat. So yeah, we had a bunch of people come by and tell us about their experiences and what's been hip and happening since they, they left Columbia. So yeah, that was pretty fun. How to join? You've been listening to all these
is there an
things.
application for the Columbia
Is there an
Space
application?
Initiative?
Oh boy, I wonder. There is no application. There's no application. You might hear of all these other clubs where they have applications. Well, we don't. We would like you to join. And you might wonder how. Well, visit columbiaspace.org. Sign up for our mailing list where Bruno, our Capcom, will be sending you emails all the time about things that we're going to be doing, when our meetings are, and all sorts of other fun stuff. Join our Slack where we will be telling you all of the things about meeting times and other interesting things that CSI is doing, outreach, and all other sorts of fun stuff. Join our Discord, where we will be doing more social things, and subscribe to our Google Calendar to know when meetings are. This year, which is something we haven't done in the past, we're going to try to have all of the missions, like meetings that are held regularly, 4 to 6 on Fridays, and also all of their other meetings on the Google Calendar, so that way people know when they are. In general, as our general CSI thing, we only have pretty much our 4 to 6 p.m. meetings on Fridays. Other than that, each individual mission will be figuring out their own times if they would like to meet more than that during the week. So be on the lookout for that, email mission leads or whatnot. They might have their own Slack channels or other ways of communicating. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over the place. And our first meeting will be next Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. The meeting will be on our columbiaspace.slack and also columbiaspace.org. And again, this is a thing that I really would like to stress. There is no experience necessary for any club, any mission. I can't speak for other clubs. But really, we would like anyone and all to come over and, be involved in space. So that's STEM majors, that's non-STEM majors. You haven't learned about, finite element analysis before. You haven't made a CAD model in your life. Come by anyway. The best way to learn is to learn on the spot. Working through things with us and encountering new problems, starting your own mission or joining an existing one, all these are options, and we would just love to have you around.
I wanted to say one other note really quickly on the meeting times. So I know that kind of historically Fridays from 4 to 6 have been our set meeting time, but a number of you have reached out to Jessica and myself about the fact that you're in time zones where that meeting time would be very inconvenient, and we're definitely all very happy to do our best and work around all of those time zone differences and offer different meeting times, and that's going to happen on sort of a mission by mission basis. So the best thing to do would be to, if you're at all interested in working on a certain mission, reaching out to the mission leads and saying hey, this is the time zone that I'm in, how can we try and work around that? And we'll find something that works for you all.
Yeah, that is an important note because time zones are now a thing that are important. But yeah, how to join at columbiaspace.org. We have an onboarding checklist that you could do. Join our Discord, sign up for a newsletter. That's right on our page. Subscribe to our calendar and all of these various things so that you can hear about what we have coming up. Join a mission. Visit columbiaspace.org. Aha! There goes the little rocket. But yeah, so that concludes our presentation.